Welcome everybody to a brand new episode of That's a Wrap. As you can see, we're in a bit of a different location right now, and that is simply because we are working on a brand new set for you guys. We got some really cool stuff going on, so just be prepared for that. Some changes, some really cool stuff going on for the set. So look forward to that. But today, what we're going to be doing is talking about Captain America Civil War once again. We've seen it for a second time, just got back from the screening tonight, and we are going to be doing our spoiler heavy review. So, if you have not seen Captain America Civil War yet, I highly suggest that you click off this video, maybe drop a like on it, and then come back to it after you've seen the film. We're going to be talking in depth about all stuff that's in this film. I'm your host, Aaron. You know me as Caboose XBL. I'm here with my co-host,
Ender. Thanks a lot, Aaron. Yes, as you said, we're under construction here, but bigger and better things coming. It's been a busy couple of weeks, Aaron.
It's been a busy couple of weeks.
The new set. But tonight, it's all about Civil War. So excited we got to see it a second time. I'm still pumped up coming from the theater. I can't wait to finally be able to talk about this with spoilers.
Absolutely. No, seriously. I've been wanting to just let loose and talk about this movie. And finally, we get that chance to. So let's just jump right into this, talking about all sorts of spoilers.
Just as the movie jumps right into it.
Exactly.
Just like the movie does.
Right from the get-go, the movie starts off with an action scene. Now, you know, we got all that stuff with Bucky, you know, this little past scene, and a revelation comes through that later on in the film.
Bucky's a big part.
Right. Yeah. But, like, you know, just the movie just starts off with this amazing action sequence with the Captain America's team and the new Avengers fighting Rumlow, Crossbones. It is so
good. Cool. I was thinking about it because, I mean, everybody knows this movie about the legendary airport scene, but this first action scene, watching it the second time, like, everybody in that action scene seriously kicks some ass.
It's awesome.
You know what I love about those action scenes? Like, you have Romanoff that doesn't have the special powers like everybody else, and she kicks the shit out of 7 guys.
Black Widow
just kicks the shit out of 7 guys.
Absolutely.
She just, it's such a great action scene. I love the way the mask even looked on Crossbones.
Crossbones' costume is so freaking cool.
It is pretty damn cool. Costumes, I mean, all the costumes are great. It's a great action scene.
Yeah, it's good. And even Crossbones has some kick-ass moments himself, the little amount that he's in there. Yes. You know, with whatever the things are on his arm when he cocks his arm back. It's so freaking cool. Yeah. And it's good the way it ties into Winter Soldier and everything like that. You get that it's a continuation of that story, and a lot of old faces come back from that. Yeah. So it was a good start to the film.
We get see Falcon's suit expanded. He shows Red Wing
with Red Wing.
Time.
That was really cool.
I like that. They do that in each movie. Everybody shows like a little bit more gumption with their powers and their suits or their abilities that they use. Marvel just always does that so right.
Absolutely. No, seriously, this movie starts off with a bang and it does not stop. It just keeps on going endlessly. I mean, holy crap.
And I love that how right after the action scene, they get into the important part of the story.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ross is shown. You see that scene where they're sitting around the round table.
The Sokovia Accords are introduced.
100%. And I was talking about this in the theater. I just love how Captain America was just like that, and he says, that's enough. Yeah. It's just a disposition of him, like we were talking about in our non-spoiler, this is a Captain America movie. And it's proven right there because he sees the emotion with Wanda, and he's just like, that's enough. He's a leader of that team. That's enough. His mind's already made up. I really like that. It was an important scene for me.
And another important part of that scene, something that I bet a lot of the fans were thinking about, is like, well, are they going to mention about Thor and Hulk and where they are? And they do bring that up. And they bring it up in a very important way because Ross is like, if I misplace a couple warheads, you know, there'd be some consequences.
100%.
So Thor and Hulk going missing.
Yeah. And they did it in a very smart manner. Didn't have to waste any time on it. Threw it in there, just so you know they're part of.
Just to acknowledge to the audience, like, yes, we know that these characters are still out there, and we want to acknowledge that. So that was really good.
Yes.
But moving on in the film,
we introduced probably our favorite
Black Panther. Oh my goodness, T'Challa, and with that, we also got the introduction of Black Panther's father, T'Chaka, and I thought that was really cool. That was something.
Unfortunately, a short stint for him.
Yeah. I mean, but that was really unexpected for me. I wasn't expecting that they were going to really dive deep into Black Panther's character and the mythos of him. I thought that they were just going to bring Black Panther in and that was it. Yes. But they really introduced his character. They didn't just give him a little introduction and shoehorn him in there.
And it's amazing how they did that because it was a short stint, but they did it thoroughly. Yeah. Like they just did that so perfectly, and they continue to do things like that in this movie.
It was really
short
well done.
Little stints, but thorough with conviction. It was very, very nicely done.
Really well done. And of course, T'Chaka dies. And it's like, it's so weird. He's in it for so little, but you see this connection he has with his son.
And the way he touched his face, I was like, it was just a quick little good emotional moment.
It was a good father-son moment. So you feel the impact after his death. And right away, right after that moment.
He was out for blood.
After that moment, Black Panther is just taking no names. He's kicking complete ass, and the action drives again.
When he came up on that rooftop, he's after Bucky.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we saw it the first time. I was still pumped when I saw it because that costume was just amazing. Every fight scene that he has in this movie was so well choreographed. It was just because, like I said, he doesn't have a sword, he doesn't have a gun. Yes, he's got the nails, but his action scenes were so good, so kick-ass, so many good.
Because it's all about the fight, like the hand-to-hand combat.
Yes, and I love that.
That's what. It makes it more fun because nobody's just shooting and stuff, and it's not like this long-range combat.
Yes.
It's like right up close. It's visceral and it's really well done.
And talking about hand-to-hand combat, obviously Captain America, he's got the shield, but he's got some great kick-ass. I love how they do that. In Winter Soldier, he kicks 6 guys' asses in an elevator. In this, he kicks a truck. It goes that way. He holds a helicopter, with 2 hands. He holds a freaking helicopter with 2 hands. He just has these cool little. It shows how kick-ass he is. I just love how they do that.
And now moving on into the film, the one thing that a lot of people wanted to know about this is Spider-Man.
Yes.
Now there was something that was happening throughout the film.
Yes, and we couldn't say it in our non-spoiler.
We couldn't say it in the non-spoiler.
It was something. I was like, what is that?
Yeah.
Why do they keep bringing the wording up on the screen?
Yeah, so throughout the film they kept bringing up the locations, and like there was a bunch of like these giant words on the screen. And like
I almost thought at the beginning too that was a little tacky. Yeah. Just like, what is
like
that?
I got it originally. It's like, okay, 1991, whatever, right? I understood that, but they kept doing it. And then it finally makes sense. Once you see Queens, you're grinning.
And that's
ear
when we
to
watched
ear.
it about 3 weeks ago when I was kicking you in the knee. When I was like, okay, you know what's going to happen.
Because that is where Spider-Man's home is. And it just, oh my goodness. Spider-Man's intro overall, for me, it was fantastic. I was smiling like a little kid.
I thought it was good. I didn't think it was great. Aunt May looks very, very young to me. But it was they just did it as how they had to do it. And it was fine. So right after that introduction of Spider-Man comes the legendary scene. Everybody's talked about it. We can talk about this just alone for 10 minutes. The way they did the action and humor combo in that scene was incredible. All characters were incredible in that scene.
Yeah.
I can't believe they can put together such a perfect action sequence.
I
love
never
the fact too how
stops.
Spider-Man is taking on 2 guys, kicking ass.
Blocks a punch from the Winter Soldier. What is this?
You know what I mean? And his humor was good, and it showed how he has a little bit of stroke. Spider-Man, a little bit of strength, which was good. And he held the truck in the air.
He's not just some weenie.
He's not just some weenie, and I like that. That was important for me because I always just picture him as the young kid, but he was holding.
Yeah, he was kicking ass.
He was even fighting Captain America at one point. It was just what a scene! I can't talk about that scene enough.
And the scene just gets bigger as Ant-Man finally turns into Giant
The
Man.
moment he dropped the line, he was like, "I've tried this before." Again, I was kicking. I kicked you a lot in the theater. I kicked you a lot.
I had some bruises.
We knew what was coming, and it was. He just didn't turn into Giant Man for just 30 seconds. He fought that. It was important because they all had to work to take him down.
Oh,
it was just
goodness.
Wanda was all in. She takes out Natasha.
Yeah, Scarlet Witch.
And I do like me and you disputed on this. I liked how Natasha showed her loyalty to Captain America. You thought that she was kind of.
I thought she was just kind of doing the right thing.
I think she showed her loyalty, which I think was important.
Yeah.
But like I said, a small thing to do.
Yeah. But overall, that action scene, it's something to behold. We haven't seen it in IMAX yet, and from what I'm hearing, they shot that whole entire sequence in IMAX. So that's something I cannot wait to see.
And a casualty did come out of it, so we finally found out what happened to Rhodey. Which I think was kind of important too, because I think someone out of that scene had to come out damaged. Somebody, or just obviously they're also Avengers, they're also friends. You even heard it when Clint and Natasha were going at it, but somebody had to come out damaged from that.
There had to be a consequence to that entire fight scene. Otherwise, it's like
somebody had to be expendable.
What's the point?
Exactly.
But it was such a very impactful moment too, because you felt it as soon as he's dropping from the air. You're like, oh my God, is he gonna die?
And Tony was pissed.
Boom,
Tony was
pissed. Takes out Falcon in that one blast. That was wicked. But
I think you wanted to mention how kind of the emotion was shown between Vision and Wanda.
That was one thing I wanted to mention that I picked up on my second viewing of the film. Is a lot of the action is completely emotionally driven when it comes to Crossbones and the beginning of the fight. It's emotionally driven. What happened in Winter Soldier? He says, "Oh, the last time you dropped a building on my head," everything like that. When you move towards the fight between Cap and Bucky, Cap doesn't want to hurt Bucky because that's his friend.
I've never seen a comic book movie with such perfect pace and relevance from scene to scene. There was
the action isn't just like, you know, for the sake of action. There's reasons for it. There's plot-driven moments to these action set pieces that make complete sense. You know, T'Challa going after the Winter Soldier because 100%. Of his father's death. 100%. It's all so emotionally driven, and that makes the action feel that much more suspenseful. And, you know, you're talking about plots and emotionally driven. Like we talked about Baron Zemo. I can talk about just quickly a little bit more extension here. Even at one point, you kind of felt some sympathy for him. You know, I know people talk about Baron Zemo and stuff. You had some reservations about the second. On my second viewing, I still thought he was good. He played his role well. Like I said, you almost had some sympathy for him. Like he had a reason for what he was doing. No, listen, a lot of people really undersell this villain. I think he's a good villain. I think he served his purpose in the film well. That's all we needed him for. And the good thing is, they didn't kill him off. Yes. I think that that's a really good move. They didn't just waste another villain. Yes. They kept him around in case they want to use him again 100%. For Infinity War or something. And that's what we were talking about our plot twist, because a lot of people that watch this movie, you come to that final conclusion scene. Yeah, all three of them are friends. Yeah. They're going to take on the Winter Soldiers, a great ending, which still would have been great. It would have been. Not at all. Completely. Not at all. Complete good twist, which I really, really enjoyed, and an incredible fight scene to end. Oh, yeah. Captain America fighting Iron Man was something to watch. It was intense. Like I said, emotionally driven. These two guys butting heads in ways that they don't want to, but have to. Because Iron Man had it. He just completely had it. When he asked him, "Did you know?" and he admitted it, he just snapped. I loved that. I love how it ended there. It was really. The fight was fantastic. Everything about this film, I can gush over it forever. It's phenomenal. But of course, when the credits roll, it's not over. There are after credit scenes in this film. Two of them, per se. One in the mid and one at the very end. So the one in the mid is a bit of a tease, I guess you could say, for Black Panther. Yes. Right, so we were already hyped up about it enough, just seeing Black Panther in the movie, but it was still a nice thing at the end. Yeah. Like I wonder now, what's going to happen with Bucky? It left a lot of question marks. It did, and then of course there was one final after credit scene. Yes. You weren't as big of a fan. I was hoping it was going to be something to do with Infinity War, but I thought it was pretty cool. The Spidey symbol, that's something from the comics. That was a pretty cool thing, and it was like the iconic Spider-Man logo, right? It was. So that was pretty cool. But overall, this film ended. It definitely didn't end on a high note. Yes. And I was happy about that. I did not want it to. I wanted to end with, like I said, me and you were talking about on the ride home, like, what's going to happen with that? What happened with Natasha? Where did Vision go? Yeah. And how are they going to do this leading into the Infinity Wars? That's actually where I'm a little bit concerned. Like, they're going to have to resolve this. They're going to have to take time out of another movie to resolve what ended here. And are they going to do that in some of the other movies, or are they going to wait for Infinity War? But once again, what we always say, that is the beauty of this. The speculation, what we're wondering, how this is always going to go down. What's next, this movie tingled every single one of our nerves. Yeah. Action, emotionally, speculation, wondering. It is, like I said it or not, it's a 10 out of 10 for me. It will remain as a 10 out of 10. On my second viewing, honestly, if I could rate this higher than 10, I would. It's me, I don't see a lot of movies twice, which I probably should. This will be one I will probably see a third or a fourth time because I enjoyed it that much. It's so good. Definitely one you're going to want to own on Blu-ray. We got a nice little interview at the end, too. So we did. Cool. That was pretty cool. Yeah, the hats always do come into play for something. Yeah, we know you guys talk about the hats a lot. But that's it for our spoiler review for Captain America Civil War. What did you guys think of the movie? You're open and free to say whatever you want in the comment section now, as this is a spoiler video. Yes. Anyone who views the comment and gets mad at you, they have already been warned. It's their fault. You let them know that. So let us know, guys. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you think are going to happen with the question marks when you watch it. And I love to see what people's ratings are. Is this going to become on their Mount Rushmore of movies? Definitely on mine. It's definitely on mine. Yeah. So I've been your host, Aaron. You know me as Caboose XBL. This is my co-host, Ender. Please don't forget to follow us on social media platforms. The links for that will be in the description box below. And drop a like if you enjoyed the video. Leave a comment if you have an opinion. Subscribe if you're new. And that's a wrap.